We were going already?
Let's do it. Hang on.
Hey, this is a wild show today. I don't say this too often about guests because usually it's people that I didn't get to watch and learn from. But today's guest is a very special comedian, a guy that I can literally say that I learned and looked up to as a comic because there was nobody who represented my background closer than this guy. And our special guest today is motherfucking Frank Spadone, everybody.
What's
Frank
up?
Spadone, Italian. Frank, tell the people about Frank Spadone while I choose a week.
You know, I've been doing comedy since '97, since you were in high school.
Apparently. I was in high school.
Yes.
We're gonna get into that story.
And that's awesome that you know, if I inspired you as the Portuguese comic in a way, that's amazing, man.
That's all I had. There was nobody else.
You had to listen to me.
Oh man, every time you all like repeat on Just for Laughs all the time. So I got used to your Just for Laughs all the time. But my favorite thing was that I always talk about this with Frank. That when I was in high school, I went to my guidance counselor. She asked me what I wanted to be, and I said I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. And right out of high school, I did become a stand-up comedian.
Nice.
But in high school, I was ready to go, and she asked me, and she was an Italian woman, probably 35, 40 years old, guidance counselor. And so I can't not do this justice. What do you want to be, Mr. Rita? I go, man, I want to be a stand-up comedian. Before I could even get stand-up comedian out of my mouth, she went, oh, you love comedy? You know who I love? An Italian comedian by the name of Frank Spadone, the funniest person you've ever seen. We saw him live this weekend, and it was unbelievable. And she started getting rowdy.
That's amazing.
And I had only seen you on TV. I go, yeah, he's pretty funny. She goes, pretty funny? That guy was making me piss myself. You're gonna like comedy. You like comedy. You gotta like Frank Spadone. And she was so rowdy. And I went, okay, cool, miss. And she went, Mike Rita, you know you've made it when you're working with guys like Frank Spadone. The best part about this story is, Frank, it took years for me to work professionally with you.
Yeah.
But my second week ever doing stand-up, my third or fourth open mic, you showed up at the Fox and the Fiddle,
nice.
Jason Blanchard show downtown.
Yeah.
And everybody was whispering because at the time you were on the rise. You were this big ethnic comedy star. And you dropped in and all you did was work. You just worked on some material. I don't know what the fuck you even did. But you told these jokes very chill, very relaxed. You killed because you were on fire at that point. Nowadays, I feel like you've settled into your fucking sick little pedestal in Canadian comedy. You do your tours. You're like, I'm doing these theaters. Grab your fucking tickets. I love that. That's a point that I hope to get someday.
You're there, buddy. You're
buddy,
awesome.
I'm working.
And we'll do more together. We got to do some shit together.
Oh man, trust it. The Italian Portuguese thing. I think we were
the same.
I think we were mixing this year at some point for something. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Right?
We're gonna do some shit. Yeah, I think we're on something. If it hasn't gotten canceled.
It got canceled, but we were supposed to do something. Okay.
Look, we almost look the same. Look at this.
That's awful. I didn't know this. I swear to God, I trimmed up going, hey, you know what? Frank always looks good. I'm going to kind of, and in the subconscious that I pretty much copied his facial hair.
No,
man.
You look great.
Listen, you are a great comic. Tell me about your career. Tell me about Frank Spadone's career. Give me a little bit about it.
I kind of fell into it, right? Like it's, comedy. You're one of the lucky guys who said right out of high school, I'm going to do comedy, and you've been working at it at a young age. When I got into it, I saw people my age that are already been doing it a few years. So I felt like but I'm one of those guys, once I jump into something, I'm going to really work at it. And I guess, I work out a little bit, and I knew that if I wanted results, I almost had to work out every day or every other day. So
how did you even get started? Because you started in your 30s, yeah. So
yeah, I was in photography, and I kept getting hired because, I was a big guy. I could carry the equipment. I knew how to. That was the first reason why.
Dude, that's the most Italian Portuguese thing. He's a big guy. That guy can carry stuff.
Frankie the Mule. They'd strap all the bags on me. I'd carry everything. I knew how to work the lighting and stuff, and then I did my work.
Were you funny?
I was funny. That was the thing. Clients started saying, we requested you on this because we have a lot of fun with you. And then I started, like the Bay, like all these,
cool companies.
Tip Top tailors we did a lot of. I worked with, Dan Lim and Robert Lear and Andreas and Shin Shigino, Andreas Trotzmandorf, LCBO stuff. And I kept getting told by the clients, I feel like I'm stoned already and I'm just smelling the shit. I'm not even there yet.
You're getting rowdy. Let's go.
And then people kept saying you should tell your stories. My people would say, "What'd you do last night?" Like after the shoot, you finished late and then you're there in the morning.
And people don't know this. Yeah. Before you become a comedian, you have all this pent up funniness that you release onto the public, which dissipates when you become a stand-up comedian.
That's right.
The pressure to be funny is not there. People know you as a funny person.
That's right.
But before you're a comic, you're never funnier than just in a normal interaction with a normal human who's not expecting you to be that funny.
Yeah. Wow. That was great. You're amazing. So that's why you're a comedian, because and that's the thing. And and you're not even, you're just being yourself, right? When 100%. You're working, right? You're being yourself, and then people kept saying you got to tell these stories on stage. And finally, I met an art director, Scott McMahon, believe it or not. Scott McMahon. Wow. He's the guy that said, "Hey, he's a comic too, and he's an art director and takes great pictures." And he said, I work I do the Laugh Resort quite a bit. Why don't you call this number and they'll eventually call you. And so I did it. I kept calling.
Classic
got on a Tuesday night at the Laugh Resort, the old place on Lombard.
Dude in his 30s, been funny his whole life, never took the
I think I was 27, I think, when I
27 started getting into open mics. Fucking believable.
Yeah, 27.
Yeah, man, you've already lived most of your life. You're pretty much established as an adult by 27, and then this huge boom.
This thing, and I tried it.
Because you're known now as Frank Spadone, the comic. You're not a normal person anymore. You changed that at 27.
Yeah. So there's, it's never too late with comedy, right? Like, it's never too
That's
late.
a huge thing. If you're listening to this, man, and you want to be a comedian, listen. Frank started at 27. By his 30s, he was already at Just for Laugh, and in his career, it's just continued up. He still sells out. He still performs to crazy great audiences, man. Okay. So,
But though, I worked a lot, so once I decided I was going to do this, and I did that first set, it went great. It was amazing.
First set was good.
It was amazing, and I didn't know it was amazing. Like, I asked Scott, he's like, "You got applause breaks." I'm like, "Is that good?" And I didn't know.
That's so funny.
And it was great. So I got bit by the comedy bug, and I kept going. But I knew if I wanted to be good at this, I had to work it out. I was on stage literally Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you got to do that shit.
That's a little bit of your Italian upbringing, because I was the same.
I couldn't treat it like a job.
Yeah, you got to treat it like a job,
right?
Buddy, I went in, and as soon as I got my foot in the door, I never took my foot out. I started pushing against that door every day, because if you, man, my dad was always like, if you work hard, somebody going to work harder than you, and they're going to take it.
Now, how did they feel?
They hated it.
How did they feel about you
Oh my God.
leaving at night? Well, where did this guy go? Even on Tuesdays, there's these open mic nights. Mondays, right?
They couldn't believe that I was coming home on Mondays to go to work at midnight.
Yeah.
And I'd smell of weed, because we'd be smoking weed after the shows. You'd have a couple drinks. I tried to explain to them that they paid me in drinks, and they thought that that was an alcoholic thing. "Oh, you're going to be a drunk. You never work for alcohol, you fuck." It's like, it's not work. It's a bar.
This is a funny story, because I always worked out. And when I started doing comedy almost every night, you got to see who this is.
See?
Who's that?
It's the weather.
So my dad thought he's a work him out every day. And then in the night he asked me, "Where are you going every night?" I go, I'm going to do shows. He goes, "You do the show." And his head's going,
show.
Do the show. Then he asks me, "Is there a lot of women there?"
Yeah.
So I'm working out in the day. He thinks I'm doing shows. There's a lot of women there. I go, "There's a lot of men there too." He's like, "Oh my God." He does the sign of the cross.
So
he thought I was stripping.
That's so great.
And I told him there were a lot of men.
Dude, you were really buff in your early days, man. I remember seeing you Just for Laughs, and you are wearing a tight dress shirt, and you are filling it in, and you're doing very Italian movements in it, which I think brought it all together, because you wore a dress shirt like an Italian.
I had to wear
That's right, a nice
a size smaller. You know what I mean? It's authentic,
dude. It is the most authentic looking comedy, but that helped push it. You looked like an Italian dude in his 30s. It actually it fit the bill, dude. I'm telling you, I can picture it till this fucking day.
You know what's funny? The last thing that I shot, the last show I did, I had an undershirt under my shirt. I had a white.
Could you see it?
I think you see a couple of straps. Like a bra now.
I can't deal with that. What was with our uncles as kids wearing white, the undershirt under a dress shirt? 2 hours into a wedding, you could just see it.
Hottest day, weddings, suit, 3-piece. Back in the day when they wore those frilly shit on their chest with the tie, and still another layer underneath just in case.
I can't deal with that shit. What was your favorite Italian thing growing up? because Italians are very close to Portuguese,
man.
so we got that old world shit going on.
You know what I love? I tell you what I loved.
Yeah.
And especially in the summer when you're out and just those Sundays with the family. Because you knew. Lunch, like we'd go out, we'd get our hockey sticks. You want to play in the morning? We'd have a game. And then lunchtime would hit and you walk into the house and you'd smell the sauce.
Amazing.
Right? And you smell and
what
it's
was your
Sunday.
mom's Sunday thing?
Oh man, it was brajol. You know what a brajol
No,
is?
I was gonna say, tell me what
and
a
here's
brajol.
the funny thing, and it leads to the stripper name. So a brajol is a nice piece of veal, thinly sliced, and she'll have a bunch of them. See, we didn't use a lot of meatballs.
Yeah.
Or sausage or pieces of meat. We did the brajol. You would get the brajol nice and flat. You chop up the parsley, put Parmesan cheese, chop up parsley, salt, pepper. And I think that might have been it. Sometimes other people
That's
put a slice of
unbelievable.
prosciutto in there and then you roll it like what you're going to do soon, dude. Dude, I wish my mom, if she was here, she'd probably roll as tight as you.
Spadone.
She rolled that thing so tight and she'd fasten it with toothpicks.
Amazing.
And that would go in the sauce. So you brown it a bit,
Wow.
that would go in the sauce. And that thing was so tender and so tasty. And that was that. Then you'd have the bread and the salami. So I thought if I
you're cooking the veal in the sauce?
Yeah, man.
It's already
for
a
the-
tender piece of meat.
But it's for the flavor for the sauce, right?
You make. I'm getting rowdy.
We should have had her cooking here.
I'm gonna start doing the trumpet soon. You can't get me going. Okay.
And so that's why it leads back. I thought if I was a stripper, I thought my dad thought I was a stripper. I would call myself the Big Brajol. I'd come out with a giant brown towel with a couple of giant toothpicks, and I'd just start sliding the toothpicks up.
Oh my!
And there's the sausage.
I wonder if they would be proud. Like, you're doing our people a service.
You know what? They didn't like it at first, right? And my dad's like, go get a real job, go work at TTC, go get some benefits.
Go work TTC.
That's what he wanted.
Like, that's the better job to them. Go work for the city. What are you doing?
Something with benefits.
Oh my God.
Government, you know the government? Government job. You get paid, rain or shine, and they don't care. Government, you retire, you got a nice pension.
You don't like it? You don't like the pension? Pension. That's what they say. Pension. You don't like pension? Pension is good.
You gotta get the pension. Yeah, man. I don't know. That's what they. But then it's funny.
Wait, how's that the good job to them? You can tell them, I'm not gonna be happy doing that. You're not gonna be happy, but you're gonna have teeth. You're gonna have glasses.
You're not gonna be happy now, but down the road when the check come every week for you doing that thing.
Man, what is it with those guys?
But it's just then he liked comedy. You know what happened, bro? You're gonna appreciate this. They saw me on Chin.
Oh, amazing!
The first time.
Yes,
Then
huge.
I was a superstar,
dude. My parents. I had the same moment with my parents.
True.
Where they seen me on Portuguese national television. They did a half-an-hour documentary about. It was a show about how immigrants around the world are transforming their communities.
Yeah.
So I wasn't the immigrant, but I was the son of the immigrant.
That's right.
Who had just for laughs traveled the world. I just come back from Bermuda in a little tour in the U.S. and Bermuda, and
nice.
Yeah, you're like, is it a tour? Or is it a vacation, baby?
Yeah.
But
it's a fine line. Fine line.
3-week tour or 3 shows. Okay, so listen, so they seen me on national television, and it was one of those moments that you dream about where as soon as the program was done, their phone started ringing. And so we were all watching as a family, and we watched it, and they were like, oh, it's very nice, because they were in it too. They get interviewed about how at first they didn't like it, and then now they're very happy for me, which at the time they still weren't. At the time of the interview, they were not happy that I was a comedian.
They were not convinced or whatever.
But then they seen the documentary on RTP. They could not believe it. And then right after, they got the phone calls. Man,
it changes like that, right?
Buddy, I was going to say, you got on Chin. To them, Chin is probably like...
Chin is like, I might as well have been on the
Johnny
Academy,
Carson.
Johnny Carson Academy
Come sit
Awards.
down, kid.
And if people don't know, it's just a local kind of ethnic. Chin stands for Canadian Italian Heritage Network, I think, or International Heritage.
So the Chin picnic was a big deal.
Chin was big. But granted though, that Chin, which was TV once a week, and then the radio, which was all week, they did bring in huge stars from Italy for them. right? I mean,
For the
eventually
people,
these people stopped being stars in Italy, but they didn't know it anymore.
No, over here they're like, oh my god,
it's
Bruno Tarzalini,
yeah.
he's gonna go.
Who was it? Who did I open for? Umberto Tozzi. You know?
Oh yeah,
Okay, you know who that is?
Yeah, of course.
He's the original Gloria.
He's like a romantic singer or whatever.
Yeah, you know that song, Gloria.
Yeah.
Mangia la cicoria. I didn't even know.
But it was an Italian song.
It was an Italian song first. Laura Branigan she covered it, I guess.
Gloria.
But he was the original, and I opened for him at Kingswood. And that was then my parents
were like, oh my god, Frankie, you gonna do? Hey, bro,
you know, when Umberto Tozzi gives me a fist bump after I leave.
Really?
Oh yeah, I was like, what's going on? What's happening here?
But did you have a good set too?
It was great.
Oh my god,
it was great, and it was at Kingswood, so there was about 9,000 or 10,000.
Of course, it's the craziest.
I think it's still maybe the biggest crowd I've ever done, but it was weird. Have you ever done one of those big?
Yeah, I've done a couple of different ones. We did the Portugal Day one, which was a couple thousand, but I do the weed things. It's like 15,000 people smoke a weed, and those are pretty wild days, man. You're up there, and they don't hear you for like 3 seconds, you know. So you're like, hey, am I right?
Yeah, and then you gotta ask. You gotta kind of because they forget to ask themselves.
They're not even really paying attention. They're just staring at you, but they're somewhere else completely, man.
We gotta talk about that because you do a lot of the weed rooms, right?
Okay, wait, let's get into this quick.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, time out for the weed because there's nothing worse than two ethnic dudes just going off. Yeah. You're never gonna get a second.
We need some dried up dandelion chicoria.
Okay, I took out 4 nice flavors. We got sugar cookies, purple arrow, sour diesel, and zombie. If you want, give each bag a little smell or the nug. I'll try to get a nug. Which one's
gonna like?
I gotta wake you up. Not wake you up. I'm not gonna fuck around. I can't fuck around.
They're all good.
Because you probably like.
I can't wait for my in-laws to see this.
Yeah, no kidding. Now tell them that it's legal.
He throws this shit out. He picks it out of his garden and throws it in a bag.
What is that?
This one's good.
Okay, wait.
Zombie. Wow.
Zombie, you had the sour cookies. This is sour diesel. I like zombie too. Zombie's gonna go on the table.
Is that gonna turn me into a zombie? Is that why it's called zombie?
No, don't listen to the names.
Ooh, that one's got a...
That one's a little punchy, eh?
You know what? It's like an IPA. It's got that.
Okay, we're going with the IPA then. Let's go.
It's got a little bitterness to it.
Let me smell this. What is this shit? I gotta do the uncle look. You know, you ever have your uncle just pull it away?
You gotta do one of these.
What the fuck is this shit?
The bifocals.
Okay, wait. While we're rolling a joint, I'm gonna talk to you about some of your bits that are just so fucking funny. That I promise you, Frank, I'm never jealous of nobody. I love my own comedy, but man, am I jealous of some of your fucking jokes, bro? So jealous that I tell my friends. Really? I'll tell my own friends, like I'll be like, yes, this guy named Frank Spadone, you gotta get here to the show. Man, there's a bit that you posted the other day as a sketch, which is the happy birthday. Holy shit, dude. Okay, we're gonna get into this a little bit because I love the mispronunciation of the immigrant language, okay? And happy birthday, if you don't know what that is, it's happy birthday written down on a card in an Italian person's idea of how they're gonna write it. So my mom, if she was gonna write happy birthday, it would be HIPPI, hippie, and then birthday would be like BERTDAI.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Perfect. Look, happy birthday. And it's all about how they would they sound it out. What was that like growing up when you realized how funny it was to speak fake Italian?
You know what's funny is I remember being in grade 4 or 5 and me imitating my dad.
Nothing better. I know,
people,
bro.
like, what's going on? And people would laugh. And I think I even remember I went to Chalk Farm Public School. I went to Jane and Wilson. I remember this girl, Linda, I think her name was, and she's like, the way you talk about with your dad's accent is so funny. And I wasn't trying to, who knew about?
No, of course not. Of course not.
But it was always a part of me. I always liked voices. I tried to imitate voices, some people were great at famous people. I was just great at imitating the people around me, like my family, right?
The ones that you did in your head when you were alone.
And the accents, right? And we grew up in very multicultural, so I knew Jamaican and stuff. But yeah, who knew that I was gonna make some money just imitating some of my, and now as a comic, you want to tell some stories and shit, but it's funny. You too, you got great stuff too, man.
I do the stuff. I love the immigrant voice because to me, it was always so funny to hear my mom talk. Man, you have happy birthdays, so fucking good.
And they would do that. They would write happy birthday. Yeah. So my dad, he tried a few Italian ones. Then as I got older, he wanted to show he could write in English. So he butchered it. EPPIBURDY. But then he'd put from your mama and papa, and then he'd put his name,
Oh
Peter
my
and
God.
Rosa. I'm like, I know who you are. And then he'd put 134 Neems Crescent. They'd put their whole address. And like, you know, when you sign the things that when you go to a funeral, you put your address. And they did it for everything.
Man. Dude, people don't know how real something like that actually is, though, man. My mom wrote her address on everything. Her full name, Maria Norbima.
Because they wanted to make sure, even if it was a wedding gift, like a busta, right? You guys do the busta too.
Always,
the envelope with the card and the money. And they would write their address. They wanted to make sure they didn't mistake them from someone else. Like, I put this much money. I want you to make sure you know I'm not the cheap one.
Man. You even have a joke, man, that I used to repeat, and I even butchered it. It was
I butcher my own too.
It's a joke that is so perfectly written from the immigrant voice, bro, that I promise you till this day I'm fucking jealous that I didn't think of a joke that good. I don't even know when the fuck you wrote it, but I wish I had wrote it before you. Is your Heineken joke where I think it's your uncle or your dad buys the beer? Okay, summarize this joke because I'm gonna butcher it because it's so fucking good.
No, it was basically this was one of those ones where we sometimes we say it's our uncle. It was my friend's uncle, but I treated it as mine. So that's
a secret of stand-up comedy.
Still comes from a real place,
of course.
And that is he did say, that his uncle gave him Heineken and he knew his uncle was cheap. Right. And, obviously you write it wasn't, I wrote it the way I wrote it to make it work on stage. But he goes, Zio, his uncle, right? He goes, why do you buy this beer? Like, I could never picture you buying this beer because he was cheap. And he goes, I don't know. I go to the beer store and the guy asking me, what kind of beer you want? I say, give me Heineken. And then 24 Heineken, and it comes out. So and this is the other reality, right? They didn't know how to order shit.
Never.
So they would just say whatever. Heineken.
Dude.
Or Red Cap, if they got used to one.
That's why Labatt Blue was so popular, because all you had to say was 24 Blue.
24 Blue.
24 Blue, hot hike, let's go.
Yeah, it's true. They drank Blue. My dad drank 50. Because it was easy. 50.
24 50. It's a phone number. Yeah. Call me.
2450.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. There's no reason why those guys would drink Blue. It's kind of a weird beer. But all they had to say was Blue. Blue. Yeah, 24 Blue.
And then for a while, then his English got better over the years. Then he would order there was John Labatt Classic, but it was still Labatt Classic.
Labatt Classic.
For a while, he drank Brador.
Oh, wow. Bro.
Then it was weird because he pronounced Brador okay. But then when Martin Brodeur played for the Devils, he would call Martin Brodeur, Brador played the game tonight.
The guy never let nothing.
Holy shit,
dude,
Brodeur.
Was your dad a 24 beer dollar guy? My dad used to love Brava.
Like remember a buck of beer?
Dude, when buck of beer was a thing and you could just get Laker or fucking Brava, my dad would stack up on the weekends and show up with 22 cases. Laker, never forget the name Laker.
It's good.
It's good.
Sounds like a Laker.
A Laker.
They used to make, did your family ever make their own liquor, they called it liquor.
It was moonshine, pretty
yellow
much.
Shit though. They would boil it and
from the wine. They make it from the wine.
Yeah, and then they'd put it in the cakes.
That's right, man.
And then give seriously these cakes. Some Italian cakes are drenched. The sponge cake has so much booze in it.
You get fucked.
And my aunt would do it. My aunt would make these cakes with the custard and then give it to the kids, and we'd have 2 or 3. Slices of cake, and then we'd be sick after at the end of the night. And then our parents would give us shit. You kids, you like to eat potato chips. You throw out I go, potato chips. I'm hungover. I got alcohol poisoning.
Dude, booze in the European kid community. I grew up in the 90s, so I just caught the tail end of it.
Got it?
We got the festivals, we got the outdoor festivals where everybody would be really drunk and then they would drive home and nobody said nothing. These guys would go home hammered from singing outside in parks all day.
Yeah.
And everybody, my mom would always lean in and say some shit just to make sure he was okay. And my dad would always get aggressively drunk,
well,
mad. What are you doing? What are you talking about?
I'm okay. Shut up.
You okay? Because I'm okay. And you're in the backseat like, he's fucking smashed right now.
And it's not, you know what? Thank God nothing happened.
Never
with I know, and things have happened, but nothing happened, thank God, with Mike. A couple of bushes got destroyed. I mean, I'm okay. And then we got out of the car and I'm crawling off the bushes. Dude. Like the car would be crooked. But back then, those cars were tanks, eh? Like it was almost like a smash up derby, was it? Like you go to Wonderland and do like the bumper cars. My dad hit the side of the house once and he came out and he made sure the house was okay. His Pontiac Parisienne or whatever. No, his Laurentian. It was a tank. It was a tank.
Listen, what part of the city did you grow up in?
I grew up like North York, so Jane and Wilson.
So fucking ethnic. What was the other big ethnicity in your community? Obviously Italians, because
we had everything. There were a lot of Italians. So my parents started up, I think it was like more like Jane and Weston Road. That's where they started, like Jane and Alliance. Man, it's a tough neighborhood now, but then it was basically Chalk Farm where I grew up.
Yeah.
Chalk Farm. So, but there was everything. Like we had the Jamaicans. My uncle lived in the building too, in the apartment building. My aunt lived across the street from the building. Like some of us lived close. There were Koreans, man. I learned how to speak patois because I played basketball with my buddies. Oh, this is nice. Is this sour diesel?
This is the D's, man. This is the D's. It is actually very nice. It's very, very
That's tasty. Smooth. You don't put tobacco, right?
No tobacco.
Yeah. Okay. Now the amateur's gonna start coughing.
No, you don't have to. Don't worry, man. It's this show's fucked. I'd rather you stay at a level where you keep talking to me because I've had guests get all ripped and that shit's fucking hilarious too. See, the thing is, man.
Okay.
Like, hey, I always think about this kind of shit. When you got going in comedy, like, what do your parents think nowadays? They're happy. They're happy to see your success, clearly.
They obviously got happy. You know, they saw me on the Just for Laughs. It was one of those things where it's like, at first they didn't want to tell anyone. Like, what does Frank do? But now it's like, oh, he's and you know he does the comedy showman. Showman. Yeah, right. Okay. Showman. But that's the way it was, right? Like, oh, hang on a second. Let's go back. You talked about you caught the tail end of the booze situation. Whether it was Sunday or even during the week. Yeah. When my dad, dinner was a big thing. And that's what I try to do with my family, even though we have weird schedules being called. You just did the whole out of your mind.
Sorry, I was in the zone there.
Fancy shit. Did you drink? Did your dad see? Everyone's so paranoid now. Don't give my kid this. No vaccination for that. Oh, don't let the kid touch wine. Not that I'm saying you got to give booze to your, but they gave us a little bit of wine at 8 years old with some.
Always had wine.
Ginger ale.
That's right. At a wedding, they used to put wine in the soup. That was a normal thing in Portuguese
culture.
Is that Portuguese? You put some wine in the soup. It might be Italian too. It's just an old European thing. You know, you just want to get a quicker buzz or something. You'd get it going with the soup. So when we were kids. We'd like ask, can we try something? They'd be like, yeah, put a little bit in. And they would put straight up a half a glass of wine in a kid's soup. Let the kid drink the soup with the wine. And man, when I was a kid at weddings, you'd always find a bunch of kids laying down on like chairs sleeping with the wedding.
For sure.
And now as an adult, I'm like, man, those kids were all having a little buzz. Took a little nap, and then the parents never woke them up. Let them sleep to the wedding.
The parents wanted a break.
It's genius.
They wanted a break. They gave my wife. She always talks about when she was young, she'd have the I don't know if it's a raw egg, but a soft boiled egg, and then they'd put the marsala in there with the sugar. You know what I'm saying?
Portuguese? No,
is it like the same shit?
Yeah,
right. Yeah, Calabres, they're kind of Portuguese.
Calabres,
she's
Calabres.
Well, half her Calabres grandmother used to do that.
What's the other half?
It's like near Rome, Lazio. They call it Shujar. We call them Shushiners.
Lazio because of the soccer team. There's a
Lazio.
Team.
Yeah. Speaking of Italian, my good friends at Lago Bakery.
Are these your friends? Tell us about what your friends gave you.
You know.
Lago Bakery. Where is this? I'll tell you right now. It's on Young.
Richmond Hill.
Richmond.
Hey, I'm going to need my keys. Hang on. Maybe I'll use my keys. What? He drives an Infinity.
Yeah, but it's a really nice car too.
It's not bad. It's good with the kids.
You picked me up.
Okay.
You drove me home once from Comedy Bar.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
And I was so happy. I was like, in my head, I was like,
fun.
oh man, if my guidance counselor could see me now, she'd be fucking shitting me. You drove home with Frank Spadone.
You know what's hilarious? Now that you just reminded me, I did a show for CBC, and it was at the Danforth, and 2 of my guidance counselors showed up from high school. It was awesome to see them.
Did he come talk to you?
Mr. Stevenson. What was the other guy's name? Hang on. White hair. He looked like John Brophy, the guy who used to coach the Leafs. Like white hair.
Back in the day.
And what was great is one was our guy. One was the guidance counselor. Yeah, I think they were both guidance counselors, and one was the architectural, but he wasn't there, and they coached our hockey team. So that's how I got to know them, and plus they were our guidance counselors because me with hockey connection, they were great. It was great to see them. I almost started crying. I did.
Of course,
it was very nostalgic.
Okay, show me. I'm gonna talk about teachers coming to shows. I like that. Oh my god, you brought some big guns today,
I went at the end of the day, and so we got the hard shell cannoli, and they had 2 left with the ricotta in it.
Ricotta.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the softer.
Okay.
Sfolia on the outside, and then I got these 3 things that look like the boobs on Total Recall.
Yeah,
the girl. I don't know if you could see it.
Oh,
those are called Zeppole.
Zeppole?
Yeah, I call them Led Zeppelin.
Nice, Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, because it takes me 7 minutes to eat these.
What a fucking beauty of a joke, dude.
So they're beautiful. They got the custard. I think it's custard with like this sour. You guys, everyone's gonna have these. We can't.
We couldn't even finish that if we tried.
Well, we might now. I'm feeling pretty buzzed now. Where do I put these? Do we replace this? Replace the orange tree? Is that a money tree or something?
It is. We're trying to financially bring some fucking ricotta.
Okay. I don't know. Are you gonna dig in? It's gonna be messy though.
No, I'm gonna have one near the end of the show.
All the shit I bought has that icing sugar, which my mom calls ass sugar because she can't say icing. So she's a friend to go to the store to buy my icing sugar. I owe you some ass sugar. I don't know.
Your father's over there like, that's what I'm talking about. Listen.
He likes the ass sugar.
Was your dad an old school Italian guy? Did you guys have like lamb leg in the basement to slice?
No, he wasn't. The funny thing is we're from Body, right?
Okay.
So
tell us a little
we're
bit
near
of
this. We're near the ocean. Now, I was born in Canada, so I'm.
So he's like an ocean like Italian dude.
Like we're seafood, like shellfish. Like
cool.
They eat the fucking weirdest shit. I don't know. Do you guys eat that? Like
I'm from the Azores, so it's like the archipelago. It's those little tiny volcanic islands off of Portugal. Okay. So I'm not even from Portugal. I'm from the little islands off Portugal. Okay. It's like the Newfoundland of Portugal for real, because they even have their own way of speaking because they're so like removed. Man, I'm gonna tell you.
That's funny though.
It's kind of fucked, man.
Because people say that the bare is the body.
Yeah.
That we're the Newfies of Italy.
See? Yeah. You see, this is why we're the comedians of our
We get made fun of a lot. But
listen.
You were gonna say something.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
I should interrupt you. Yeah, it's okay to interrupt because that's how it works. Whoever's listening to the podcast or whatever, they'll know what I was gonna say, and that's it. I'm from the islands.
And they'll remind
Newfies, we're laughing. The islands, I don't fucking know. That says something about Azores. Yeah, we're from the Azores.
Fish, eat a lot of fish.
We eat a lot of fish.
What do you guys eat though?
We eat red snapper's a big one. A lot of tuna.
So you're near the ocean.
We're right on the ocean. It's like right on the Atlantic. These guys are just fucking catching.
Because Portuguese, they're big with the fish, right?
Big with the fish. Big with the shellfish. All the mussels.
Like I've been to some Italian weddings where at the end of at midnight they have the sweet table. You guys go even further,
buddy. We get the midnight buffet, lobster, chicken wings, everything. I don't know why that's a Portuguese thing, but we'll bring not the chicken wings, but the lobster with like just a side of chicken wing, little cutlets or something. You're like, I don't know why we're doing this. Yeah. But you're right. If you've been to a Portuguese wedding, they do have a crazy midnight buffet that is like nothing else. Shellfish, mussels, little cutlets. They'll even bring out fried fish like fucking maniacs. Those little. Those little, like what do you call them? Like little dough with the fucking fish inside. Like a seafood pastry, pretty much.
Oh, really?
Do you know what I'm talking? They must have that in
so.
Italian culture. You guys are the best with that kind of
what
stuff.
though? Mine likes to. They like to eat. Mine likes to. My people.
But that's
they like to eat the raw shit. I've
No.
seen. Yeah, it's a lot of raw. I felt sorry when I was mortified when I went to my parents' hometown. We went by the beach. It was later at night. They go, let's go to the beach. And they wanted a snack. I don't know if they smoked one.
No way.
They wanted a snack. But it's not like us. We're like, let's get some Mr. Pong.
Sure, let's get something.
Or like some
a little slice.
Let's get a slice. Let's get them. It's like, no, let's go buy a fresh octopus.
No.
From the fish guy.
And just start taking bites out of an octopus.
Just straight out of the bucket. Still smells like the ocean. But they eat it. But before they eat it, they got to tenderize it. And so they look like fucking all Nolan Ryan.
No
way. Like a baseball. They roll it up, pop, then they smash it. They throw it like a baseball or whatever it is into the rocks to tenderize it.
This is fucking mental.
This, I wouldn't want to be an octopus in next to Italy in that area. You get the shit kicked out of you, and then they eat you. Just
what
rip
do they
your
do?
fucking
Fry it
legs
up or
off.
anything? Nothing.
We do it on the barbecue, which
yeah,
is
there's gotta
good
be like
too.
a quick.
That I'll have, but no, they beat the shit out of the slimy octopus and then eat it.
No,
Yeah, they work up an appetite though. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Smashing a live animal.
Like, fuck, I'm hungry now.
Listen, man, I got a quick. I killed a rat today, and it was heartbreaking. I couldn't imagine.
I know.
I killed a rat today in my backyard. There's rats infesting our garden.
Okay.
And they're eating my dad's tomatoes.
Yeah, that's, you know what?
That's a big no-no.
You know what?
I'm perfect
went
person.
Too far.
Yeah, they went too far. Buddy, you stay in the fucking, under the shed, near the wood. Nobody say nothing.
Yeah.
You eat the tomatoes, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So my dad says this weekend, because he doesn't come up. I'm staying up at my parents' place in Wasaga Beach for the summer. So we stayed there for like 3-4 months.
Nice.
Get some writing done.
I guess now you're turning another Italian area Portuguese.
Yeah, that's right. We are. We're on our way. Wasaga Praia. But I caught a fucking rat today. The stupid thing thought I couldn't see it. So I moved a piece of wood behind the shed. And it was just kind of sitting there like this, not moving. And I knew if I moved the rest of the wood that it was going to shift and crush it.
Yeah.
And I did it anyway. I just went with it. I'm like, you know what?
You gotta do
Fuck,
it.
I got to do it. Because if I don't, it's going to be like, and it's going to do some weird shit.
Yeah.
And I just fucking pulled the big wood and it collapsed right on it. And it did this thing where it was like, and
really?
You ever crush a mammal? I never crushed a fucking mammal.
No.
It makes mammal noises. It's not like a fish where it makes noises where you're
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing.
You should be laughing because you grew up like me and we grew up mental. My dad would have stabbed the
No, but for sure. That thing had no future once
no
it touched the
future.
tomatoes.
Yeah, once I heard it squeal, I swear, dude.
It did it to itself, really.
I knew that it was over and I pressed the rest of the wood down just to finish it and it stopped making pee-pee noises.
Because you have, you were sympathetic.
I gotta tell you how crazy. I called my dad after to tell him, and he goes, "You gotta kill more."
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, I don't think I can do it, but I can't tell this guy. I have to stand up like a man and be like, I'll kill all the rats. If I see more, I'll kill them, Daddy.
Don't worry, Dad,
okay,
no
thank
problem.
you. No, you're the best. Okay, kill the rats. Man, I'm like, I don't think I can do it again. You ever kill an animal by mistake? You ever kill a rat or a mouse? You ever kill a mouse in your house?
You know what? I've caught mice in the mouse trap. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I don't even touch it.
You ever catch one in the glue? It's even worse.
No.
Because now you gotta end it.
Yeah.
Now you gotta end it.
They're still alive. They're just stuck.
They're stuck on the fucking glue.
My buddy did that, Jeremy.
Yeah, did he really?
He caught it and he felt bad.
No, yeah.
He goes, oh shit.
It's
I can't do it.
Yeah.
And he started Googling, how do I
get this mouse off this thing?
He was rubbing like olive oil and shit on the mouse's foot.
And it worked.
Eventually.
This mouse got up.
3 hours later.
You might as well eat it. The thing's full of olive oil, salt.
He already seasoned it.
You notice them, they're like, you slice it to tin. And,
it's still like a chicken.
I can't. I caught a mouse one time in the house. It started squealing at 2-3 in the morning. And I'm a deep sleeper, so I didn't hear it. So my wife's the one who hears it. And she starts hitting me. Mike, we caught the mouse. And we knew there was a mouse because our bread... Man, this is so funny. Our bread was on a shelf, and on the outside it looked fine. Yeah. And when we grabbed the loaf and turned it around, you could see a tunnel through the fucking bread.
Sneaky bastards.
Son of a bitch.
They're like, watch, they're not even going to know.
They're not even going to know. They're going to take the bread out, slice by slice. This stupid fucking human So I turned into my dad that day. I was like, he's dead tonight. We getting the glue. We put like 3 or 4 glues. This is how Portuguese I am. I put chorizo and peanut butter because that's what my parents did.
Yeah.
I got no other.
For you or the mouse?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's nice. It's kind of nice.
It's pretty good.
I don't know why I do it. I could just easily Google, and in my head I'm like, nah, put peanut butter and a little bit of chorizo, and he's either a vegetarian, he goes with the peanut butter. Man, and it caught one at like 2, 3 in the morning. And I had to kill it. And I didn't wake up right away. So Danielle's hitting me. Wake up, go get it. I run, I get a shoe. I don't see what shoe it is right away. I just see it's kind of a heavy shoe. I start whacking this fucking glue. I give it probably 2, 3 whacks. I know that it's over. It stops squealing.
Was it, under the glue strip? Or
it's on right on, man.
Top.
So I have to hit the head and I hope that it just finishes the other thing up.
Yeah.
Danielle breaks into the room. I'm using like the nighttime lights. So it's like a little night light over here.
Yeah.
She comes in, flicks on the light, and it's like her... It's not like it's like a pump or whatever the fuck those shoes are called with big old heels.
No. Yeah.
And I'm smashing. She's like, you used my fucking shoe.
Yeah.
You used my fucking shoe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you ever get so angry because it's 2, 3 in the morning that your brain doesn't talk correct? I don't know. This is a very human thing. It
happens to me almost every hour.
You just say something, you spout off, and then you're like, I shouldn't have said that. Yeah. Man, it was 2, 3 in the morning. My brain hadn't woken up yet. My wife is yelling at me. I'm killing a mouse. I'm so into this intense like moment that as soon as she starts telling me like, you used my fucking shoe, I remember just being like, why don't you shut the fuck up and then kill yourself? It was worse.
With your shoe.
Never in my life did I ever wish that I was the mouse on the glue and you were killing me right now. Yeah, she snapped. I just remember just being like, shut the fuck up.
Is it one of those nice stilettos with the sharp?
It's just it's like a fucking, it's like a Nike, it was like a Nike shoe. That had been
like a runner?
No, but it had been. It looks like a runner on top, but on the bottom it has a pump so that you can wear it out. But it's a comfy shoe. That's Danielle is she's hip. It's like a shoe that like where most women would be like, nah, I want a fancy shoe. She'd be like, nah, you wear the Nike with the fucking pump, you feel good.
So I want to wear it,
but I smashed. I don't think she's ever worn those shoes again because there's just a mouse on the floor full of blood. Me with a fucking shoe, underwear. You ever? You have a nice house. I seen your house. You ever get animals in your pool? You ever get fucking pool animals or whatever?
No.
That happens sometimes. You see?
Wow. Yeah.
Right, like raccoons and shit or something.
See, no, not the big guys like that. I haven't seen. You know what I did see? Some ducks were hanging out
in the pool.
They just come and hang out.
Shut up!
It was in the spring, and I started a fight. Get the fuck out! No, you know what happened? I didn't want to bug them. We still had the tarp in.
Yeah.
So it was water. So they treated it like a pond. But there were 2 males and then a female, and one was closer to the female than the other. Course. So I needed to barbecue the burgers, right? And I'm like, my kids are getting hungry. I didn't want to startle them because they were staring at the ducks. They were like, oh my God, it's so cute. And so I'm like, okay, let me go out there. And they kind of noticed me. So for me to make sure that they know I'm cool with them, I start pretending I'm like and I start going.
Oh my God, dude!
Guys,
you're the funniest.
Do what you're doing. I start doing duck noises. And I'm about to turn and I see the one duck going, this weird noise. And I look and he looks at the other male duck. So he's with the female closer and he looks at the other male duck and goes, and I go, and I do it again.
No, he thinks it's the other duck talking shit.
I think he thought the other duck was giving his girl the mating call. Maybe I was doing a mating call and he was like, wait. And he got out of the pool and he started looking at the guy and the guy goes, wait. And then the guy he made himself look big. And he started charging him. And the other guy went into the pool and started to avoid him. And the female's going, and he's still going, and the female's like, man, like, it's not worth it. Don't worry. He's just an idiot. And then the other guy took off and it was over. I'm like, I started a fucking duck fight.
What do you think an insult in the duck world is? You call him a goose? Yeah, you fucking goose.
What are you doing with that fucking...
What are you doing with that chicken or something, like the lower bird? Yeah. What are you doing with that fucking pigeon over there? Yes. Hey, we calling a pigeon, buddy? I'm a North Atlantic duck over here. Listen... Why you got to start beef with these fucking animals, man?
I did. I started a fight. I started an animal fight.
I like that.
Have you ever done that, like with people though, where you say something and they start fighting about it? I'm like,
I have a real story about this.
I shouldn't have mentioned that.
I gotta do a quick name drop. We're at a Rolling Stones concert.
Yeah.
And we're if you ever been to one, or any of those kind of big open field concerts, you know, it's really easy to get into a fight by the time the headliner gets up.
Yeah.
Because people are smashed.
Yeah.
We were in Oramonte, Ontario. So it's really hicky, lots of cowboy hats. Man, this is a fucked up story. I bump into some guy and I knock beer out of his hand, for real, full beer out of his hand.
Wow.
But he doesn't see who does it because there's so many people. But it was 100% me. It was 100% my elbow. And the guy behind me, who I had no idea who it was, caught literally a punch that went right by my face. Boom! Wow. And drops the guy. And the guy's like, watch where you fucking walking!
Oh, no way.
And I remember being like, yeah, you tell him. You tell that guy.
You prick.
Man, that was one of those moments that lives with you forever. Where you're like, I should have took that punch.
Yeah,
that's my punch to take. And
he thought it was the guy. He didn't miss. He didn't miss
because as soon as he hit him, he started yelling past me at this guy.
So
and I just kind of scooted on by. And I remember just telling Danielle, like, I was the guy who knocked the tree down. It's like a Seinfeld episode where you're like, we got away with murder.
That's funny.
Yeah, buddy knocked. I don't know what happened. I think there was a big fight, but you know how it is in those big things. Like everybody grabbed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just got away from that. It was a pretty good time. I've started fights in real life. In high school, I was a rumbler. I was a tumbler. Did you fight in high school because you were?
You know, I got along with not that you don't, but I'm saying.
What are you saying about me? I don't get along with the Latinos.
I don't know. You know, I never got into scraps, and then I started playing hockey, and I would get into scraps in hockey. I was kind of the big guy.
They're gonna come after you no matter what.
Yeah,
you got big shoulders, bro. The one that they wanted you to work like a physical labor job. If you had that physique in your 20s.
This is all from carrying lights. Carrying lights and fucking light meter. While the lights are strapped
you
on my
have physical
back.
Labor people in your family? You have like construction cousins and shit?
Oh, yeah. Well, especially before. Like they were all... My dad was a carpenter, but he used to frame houses. So,
classic.
Yeah.
Legend classic.
And then he got into... He goes, I like to be more inside. He didn't like heights, so he did it for a few years.
Yeah, and they expect you to work 3-4 stories, no problem.
Yeah, he's like, I've been lucky, I'm still alive. He met a guy that did cabinets, and he said, I want to do these cabinets.
Buddy, is there anything that pays better than fucking cabinetry?
Finished carpentry? Yeah, it's so
baby,
good.
That's big, man. You can just like for a little. If you're good, you're good.
I think I'm all right.
You're good, man. You're good.
I'm like
the most important thing is that you tell me when you're safe. Okay. I don't want to get
I'm a lightweight for sure.
You're not a lightweight. If you were drinking alcohol and you had a couple beers and then you're like, I think I'm good for now. People, what's the matter with you, Frank? Were you ever called gay for being a comic?
No.
Man, I got called gay when because I started really young. So,
okay, maybe.
And I grew up in the neighborhoods just like you did. So there's always a couple friends who are so rough around the edges that they don't even understand the basics of art. That you just want to express yourself in a way that is, you know, different. I don't want to be a construction worker. I don't want to be a laborer. I want to be a comedian. And I remember this one guy named Frank. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
His name's Frankie. Yeah. And he just called me gay. As like a teenager. What are you fucking gay, bro? You tell your jokes up there like a fucking... If we're like I swear to God, bro. Just go... And I remember, like, he has me on Facebook.
Yeah. You still remember it.
Yeah, I see him post things all the time, and he's still very bigoted and stupid.
Yeah.
But he likes my comedy posts, and he'll write things like, good for you, bro. But I know that it's coming from a bad place. I know internally... I think inside of his heart, he's like... Wow.
He's not that happy.
That little fag made it. I swear to God, I honestly think that's what he thinks.
You showed him, man.
That's what he thinks. He still posts things like that all the time. When Black Lives Matter is currently in the news. And he's one of these people who will always write, all lives matter, in capitals with like a post to something stupid. And that kind of shit drives me nuts. You have a lot of ethnic fans. Do you find some closed-minded ethnic fans?
I've been okay. You know what? No, one time actually. No, maybe more than one time. This stuff's good, eh? I can't think. It hits me later.
I'm saying no, and then I'm like, no. They're like, wait a minute.
There actually was one time. They got offended. I do that joke about the couch. A lot of comics have. Ray Romano.
It's just a classic.
Yeah, even if you're not Italian, I'm sure there's jokes about the ethnic plastic couch. And I talked about it. And I talked about how my dad related it to me being a mistake. And I did the joke.
Very good joke.
When internet first started and emails, and I had my first website, someone emailed me. She said, I'm a lawyer of Italian background in the United States. I find it offensive. Like, we're not like that. You belittle us. I go, why? Because I'm talking about a plastic couch. We're not like that anymore. We're successful people.
That's not where the humor is, though.
What I'm talking about. I'm reminiscing about an experience of mine, which a lot of people, and we're just...
See, that's like the
I wasn't trying to say Italians were idiots, or I wasn't insulting. It wasn't even close to that. It was about being proud. And
you ever have someone try to fight you over that shit?
No.
Buddy, we had a guy one time, Leamington, Ontario, okay?
No way.
Little fucking shit.
Yeah, I know where
tomato
Leamington.
paste town, okay? Beautiful community.
Yeah.
I always think it's shit because this guy tried to fight me there. After the show, this guy purposely, I'm outside, after the shows in these little towns, you go have a smoke with the locals. You talk some shit, and you get to like...
Well, you're more accessible, kind of.
Shake the hands. It's different. It's so different than if you're doing a private gig.
Yeah.
For So I'm outside shaking hands with people, taking pictures like you do. And this fucking old man, drunk as shit, I'm pretty sure he had piss stains on himself. I'm not even joking. Came out and starts trying to fight me, saying that I'm disgracing the Portuguese community. And this old like Zia type lady comes out of nowhere and gets in between him and I. And she turns around, she's like, "You're fucking drunk. You smell like shit. This guy tell the truth, and you're fucking garbage. Get the fuck out of." And everybody started going crazy. And it made this drunk guy even more angry. Now he's really coming at us, and everybody had to get in between. And I didn't even have to do anything, just because everybody was there, and they were like, so many people a few seconds ago were all like, "You're the best. That's so funny." And then this stupid idiot, and this lady made a great point. All these people had a great time, and you think that, he's shit, and we're all wrong? We all didn't watch the same show? It was one of those moments where you're like, I cannot believe... Could you believe that someone even found that joke offensive? A fucking easy observation, bro. That's a layup in the ethnic community. Yeah. That's your dad watering the pavement. That's your dad. That's the couch. That's the accent. It's the jokes of our childhood that we're allowed to tell. It's our experience. Nobody looks at a black comic. Nobody looks at a black comic and goes, "Why the hell are you telling that joke about the black upbringing? Black people aren't like that no more. Of course you're successful." Nobody gets on stage and is like, "Isn't it great when you make $500,000 every 2 years?" Yeah. Nobody gives a shit.
No, you gotta talk. That's why you talk. I don't know.
That's why
we do what we do is not to insult it, right? Like I don't know.
How could it be insulting if it's something that we experienced? Yeah, it's such a silly thing to be offended at our experience.
Well, and it's like you said, everyone else is laughing.
Correct.
This one person
thinks that we're all wrong. That's right.
And these are people usually that have their own issues.
That is the number one thing, dude. That is the most unspoken thing in the world of heckling, is that they have their own issues that nobody is addressing.
The reason why they're complaining is because it's about
You're such a good guy. You just stop yourself from saying bitching because you're a good guy. You're like, even though they're a bad fan, I'm not going to give them You're a good guy. Wait, man. Fuck. I want to eat.
This stuff's, why don't you know what, though?
It's got that fucking power.
Yeah, you're gonna...
And it's good. I have to do
You got any bibs?
I have to eat it 3 feet away from my chest, What are you doing over there? I'm eating a pastry. My body's over there around the corner. I just don't want to get any on myself.
Wow. Thank God I didn't take any when you offered it that time. I can barely remember my name right now.
That's good. It's really powerful.
It's powerful shit.
I think this was the AAA.
How do you do it?
How do I do it?
You're like one out. You're like...
I think the record on the show with one guest, I think we're going to ask the producers quick. What's the most, like 4 or 5 joints with one person? Like me and Danny must have smoked joints all day that time. Me and Sam Losco smoked a bunch. Yeah, I've probably smoked, like on record with some of my guests, probably like 4 or 5 within the hour. Wow. That's one every 20 minutes. But I'm going to tell you something. The interview isn't this good. Our interview has lots of energy still. The interview with me and them dies out about after 20 minutes because it's just me and them getting ripped. And then it's us like, you ever get peanuts with no salt on it? And you're so disappointed. You're like, oh, the rest were salted. What the fuck?
Is that how crazy it gets?
That's how man.
Like the conversation.
That's the tone, right? We start off with this crazy amount of energy, and then once we get to the highway, we're good.
How long is this interview? An hour?
Yeah,
I feel like we've been doing this for like 2 hours already.
Trust, you know how many I've ended abruptly because I can. I don't give a fuck. I'll end right now. You think I won't? No, I'm gonna ask you something. Yeah. Since you're high now, it's good. Yeah. What's your favorite food? I'll ask you high questions right now, so your brain doesn't have to work too hard.
Yeah. it's tough because my mom's food's always amazing, but really my go-to when I'm high has got to be like a Big Mac.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking smash McDonald's after this.
Yeah.
I make sure not to eat
Really?
after 12 o'clock. So today I had my wife made some chicken with Greek salad. And it was around 12, 1 o'clock. And in my head, I was like, okay, I'm going to go shower. I'm going to go get ready. I'm with Spadone and Brendan tonight. We're going to have a great time. And I made sure not to eat. I didn't even have a snack. I like Cliff Bars for a little quick protein, quick pick-me-up. I didn't even have that.
You didn't have that.
I want the empty stomach. I want the nasty.
Because tonight you're ready to destroy.
You said Big Mac?
This.
Oh, I'll smash a Big Mac.
Yeah.
I used to love the Angus burgers.
Oh, really?
But they don't carry those right now anymore for a little bit.
You know, I'm a classic Big Mac with a Coke and
You're
fries,
safe.
man.
You're safe with a Big Mac because they never not have that shit on the menu.
Yeah.
Imagine going to McDonald's, hey, can I get a Big Mac? And they're like, sorry, sir, we don't carry the burger that made us famous.
We only have the McRib. The shittiest. Fuck, why did they even?
You're like, wait a minute. Oh, you're looking at the menu. You're like, small McRib, breakfast McRib shake.
Yeah.
I guess I'll have the shake. What's the worst?
McRib.
What's the worst Italian food? You can guarantee right now you fucking hate it.
I don't know how they eat this shit. And I know it's the tripe, tripa.
Oh my god, tripa, bro.
It stinks.
Like, buddy, it's like, fucking nasty.
Tripa. I'm like, no.
Tripe is stomach, yo. It's like stomach or whatever the fuck.
Stomach lining. No,
nasty.
I don't feel like feeding my stomach lining.
Oh my god, man.
It's weird.
Oh man. That's fucking
How about
nasty.
Portuguese? You guys eat it too, right?
Yeah, yo, we eat that shit. Tripa is super normal. I don't eat that shit. I don't eat no fucking rabbit either. I don't fuck with Portuguese rabbit.
I'll eat a bit of rabbit.
I don't fuck with rabbit. But it's not because it's nasty. I just don't fuck with Portuguese rabbit. I'm sure there's I'm sure if like Gordon Ramsay made some fucking rabbit, I'd smash it. But Portuguese rabbit is always made in like sauce that's cooked in the rabbit. And you're like, I don't need that shit.
Inside the rabbit?
That shit. But the worst thing in Portuguese food, you mentioned it today's Marcella, blood sausage.
Yeah.
I can't fuck around with no blood sausage, yo. Portuguese blood sausage, the black sausage made from like just liver and pork blood and parsley. How poor were you that's all you had left? You could afford the liver, nobody wanted it, nobody wanted the blood. You made yourself a sausage. Merry Christmas.
There you go.
Man.
I know it's tough. They ate some. I still don't know. They eat stuff now that they grew up on because they didn't have a lot of cash. But,
yes, of course.
They love it, and I started appreciating. Like rapini, or dandelions. We get them. We take them out of our lawns and throw them. They want to eat them.
They're down to eat them.
They love dandelion. Yeah.
Man, my mom and dad grow their own weird little herbs, and they love that shit. I'm like, this is nasty. They're like, this is the best.
Yeah.
Fennel. My mom grows her own fennel.
Fennel's not bad, though.
She chews it
like licorice.
Yeah, she fucking chews it like a fucking cow. I'll walk into the house. What are you doing? It's a fan. And you're like, why? It's 2020. You can just have a breath mint. Nah, stuff in your mouth with fucking green grass.
It's true. It's very
dandelions. I can't. But my aunt used to smash the dandelions and stuff. Man, I'm trying to think of other buzzing. Fuck it. You guys eat snails?
Yeah, but I don't. I don't eat snails.
Why
I never used to eat oysters when I started like a year ago.
No, is it good?
Like I'll have a cup.
I don't eat oysters.
I know, it's like swallowing a giant snot. Like, that was.
But big. Remember when you were a kid, your uncles would eat it like it was the. What are they fucking doing?
They think it's gonna make them horny. That's why. Me too now. I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, wouldn't it be great to hear your dad say aphrodisiac? Yeah. What would you do? Your dad? What do you? My dad would be.
He would fuck it up.
Aphrodis.
Afrendines.
Afrendines, you got. And they put the Afrendines. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man. Wait, isn't it? Yeah, okay, man.
Okay, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna do. Okay, man.
Hey, did you hear about? Were you there at this weekend at the outdoor? The comics tried to do an outdoor.
Buddy got shut down by the popo.
Did they shoot it? Not shoot it. Shot it down.
I think it down. I think they tried to finish the show and then
they wouldn't let them.
We'll see what happens with that.
That sucks, though.
You should let the people just have the show.
At least they could have finished the show.
What's the weirdest place you ever did a comedy show?
Oh, man. Where is the weird? Oh, I did. Someone hired me for like a birthday party.
Buddy, so that's a great email because you can charge quite a bit. Yeah. You're like, you want a private, you want me to show up to your fucking birthday party. You better be for sure 1G for half an hour, and I need cake and steak before the fucking.
I need to be fed.
Yeah, I need to be fed. You know,
but I didn't ask the question. You know, when you start out comedy and you don't know and you don't ask the right questions. That's why you get an agent now.
100%.
So they ask them the questions.
Yes, man. I'll give my agent shit if it's a bad gig. You have to.
Me too.
You got to call them and be like, "Hey, what
better
you
not fuck up."
Don't. Because I'm always under a lot of pressure as the performer, you know. But we're the client, and I fucking I'll fucking snap sometimes.
But hey, they don't know. Sometimes you worry because the client's like, "This is gonna be a great idea," and you know, as a comic, like this is not gonna fucking work. Was when you should, but then have you been surprised? I've gone. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna get my ass served to me tonight. I'm screwed, and then I go and I do my thing, and it was one of the best shows. So you can't judge it right away. Our insecurities will be like, oh shit.
That helps the show get better. People don't know that a comic's insecurities help him drive himself on stage. Yeah. Because the less you want to fail, the more you're going to succeed on stage. It's fucking nuts.
And I find I'm the most in the moment too when I'm worried about like,
of course, am I going to do good? And then
I better be on, man. I better know what I'm doing.
Isn't that a great thing when your brain tells you better be on, so you're fucking on for some reason,
and all that adrenaline helps.
Oh yeah, those first 10 minutes like, they feel it too. Let's go.
I've done gigs. This is more before when you're in a new situation and you're like, oh shit, and you're scared. And I remember being like, I wonder if they could see my fucking jugular like bouncing out of my heartbeat. I swear to God,
man.
But it's good. It's good. Private gig. Oh, and this was the gig, so it was a birthday party.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did I remember? I don't know.
Welcome back.
Just my brain went backward. She's like, yeah, it's gonna be a party. We're gonna eat. It's gonna be great food. And then you're going to perform. I'm like, is you got a microphone? That's all I used to ask. Yeah, we're going to get a mic with speaker. Okay. So I'm there. I show up like later in the afternoon. And then I notice like, okay, like it's just a bunch of picnic tables. It was a company party. No, it was a birthday party for someone in the company. God.
And
you know what I mean? It was like
it was a company that was throwing a birthday party for someone, one of their people.
Yeah, one of the people there, and family was there too, I guess. And I get there and we're eating, and I'm like, this is cool, nice, okay. And I ask, where am I going to perform? Oh, just right there. And it's like just this concrete porch.
Wow.
And I'm like, I was waiting for a little something with some speakers.
Yeah, of course.
And then I'm like, okay, where's the mic? There it is. And it was like the speaker was this big. Like,
way.
It was like this. I'm like, oh my God.
What are we going to do?
And then I go, okay. And I'm like, I go, well, the sun's going down now, right? And the sun's kind of like there.
So you're not even in the spotlight of the sun.
And I start and it's barely lit. And then I see that someone's like, let's turn the lights on. And then the little yellow bulb behind my head.
No way.
Yeah. I did a fucking silhouette show all night. I did the jokes and it was still pretty good. It wasn't bad.
Where were you in your career? Where were you? You were, first couple of like...
Yeah, just as I started doing the Italian
Amazing.
stuff. And I was able to
that's
do
so
a good
fucking tough.
Italian sets. And because it was
no lights.
A company that wanted to hear the family stuff. Yeah.
And it ended up being okay.
It ended up being okay. But yeah, like part of it's facial expressions and, and they don't see that, right?
Man, the fear of going on stage without the illusion of a comedy club is something people don't understand until they're put in that situation.
Yeah, it could be, it's scary, right?
I think eventually you get over it.
You do. Then it's like, okay, let's see what happens.
I'm in a backyard. I've done that. I'm in a backyard. It's a bunch of people at a birthday party. They know who I am. They want to hear the shit. I'm going to give it to them.
And you know what, though? That's what makes you who you are after. When you see comics and like, man, look, they could, they look like they got their shit together. They might not, but...
The illusion.
But all those experiences help, though, that you're like saying to yourself, it's going to be fine. Remember that one in that backyard? Remember that one under the bridge?
You can't teach that experience. You cannot teach the experience of letdown when you get to a venue. Christmas parties, before we get out of here, because you probably get a lot of Christmas work.
Oh yeah, or safety. I did a safety meeting. Once,
fucking way. Like 2 in the afternoon, 9 in the yeah.
And it was around, come at 4. And I go on, I'm there, and they go, okay, you ready? I'm like, sure. I just showed up. I don't know what's happened.
Of course.
They're all sitting at tables. I'm doing the jokes, and it's like, man, this is tough.
I can't get
and I go, and these are construction people.
Yeah, they should be.
They know it was safety for construction. They know this. Like, this is home. But they weren't laughing and stuff. Like,
I've done that before.
A little bit. You could tell they were like, let's get it over with. And I'm thinking in my head, have they been here all day? They're just done. They had to listen to people all day, and then they thought having a comic at just listening to one more person would be amazing. Then I finish. I go, thanks. I go, wow, that was a little bit tough. And then they're like, okay, we're going to start with the food now. And I'm like, fuck, these guys are starving.
They don't give a fuck.
They don't give a shit about what I'm saying.
Oh my God. And what such bad planning.
Yeah.
I did that. I did the Christmas party thing once like that.
Yeah, where you perform before the people ate.
Man.
There's a method to it. Like, there's a reason why certain things work, right? And that's where it could have been the difference between, an okay show to, wow, that was a really good show. Feed the people. Make sure they're comfortable and happy. Then give me the microphone.
Who is that fucking coordinator who thinks that's it? Let's put on an entertainer right before the food.
There's some comedy 101. If anyone wants to hire us for corporates or parties.
I'd rather do during the food than before the food.
Actually, as they're finishing, dessert.
Nothing, oh man!
As they're biting into the
little ice cream, their ice cream with the little cream inside.
And so many times for me, they're stirring their espresso. Ding.
What's that Italian ice cream with the cocoa on the outside? It's a ball.
Oh, the tartufo.
The tuffo. Oh my God!
They're biting into that.
Woo,
they're listening to you. What's better?
Oh, come on! They're so full of what's that called? Like serotonin or whatever the fuck is going off in their brain.
You gotta go on during dessert. That's the trick.
I'm okay with going on dessert, man. I'll even go on after a DJ who played during dinner, and I've done tons of those.
Or do you ever go on after they do the whole who's gonna win the centerpiece?
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Okay, man. Everybody get up. And
even raffles. You ever go on after a raffle? Table 7 with the win. Thank you so much. And then the guy has to come up and show his ticket. And there's always a shit host who's like, "Oh, it's not a real ticket, everybody." I'm kidding, Phil. Hey, congratulations on your Wendell Clark signed, framed 1,000 edition of Wendell Clark jerseys. Dude, man, what's the most common thing you've seen at those raffles? I'm gonna say, if not Leafs tickets, it's gonna be a signed Raptors thing by a Raptor who's not a Raptor anymore, like Rafe Ralston from what I mean? Some old guy, some old Dunkyard Dog.
I don't know. They always say some old fucking wrestler.
Some old fuck. Charles Oakley. What the fuck? He played for half the season. Why do we have
the purple jersey that they don't wear anymore?
It's a picture.
Now it's back. Yeah.
Dude, okay. Yeah.
I don't know. What is a lot of that hockey shit?
Dude, the Leafs tickets, the Marlies tickets. Oh,
TVs, though. Sometimes TVs.
Oh, man.
You know what?
I
did a fundraiser and last year, and it was a car. Wow.
Yeah. But I'm not at that fundraiser
the church
level.
One, too. How did the person, I'm like, I'd hate to win this because it'd be like, you know what?
Oh, my God.
Thanks for the car. And then you it's for the church.
No.
You take the car.
You do a little burnout. If it's thick, you do a little burnout. Just rev.
See you later.
Man, okay.
Lots of those, yeah. Oh, you know what I saw too? Those globes? I've seen a few of those.
Which
those
ones?
Old school globes with the glasses in them.
Oh my
God.
Like a bar. I would be okay with that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
these raffles are fucked, man. I feel it's such a fucking stoner finishing off a podcast on raffles. But it is what it is.
But you know what?
What are the
I guess the events, that's good. But it's tough to go after stuff like that. I know comics that have gone on after a memorial for...
Wow.
Man. Hey, they're at a Legion Hall or something.
You know what?
They're gonna
Fuck
do
it,
comedy.
man. You gotta roast them. If you're gonna bomb, just roast the guy. Who was Phil? A nobody. A guy who did nothing. A man with very little friends and family who did not love him. They're all crying. You can cry now, but as Phil would say, I fucking hate you twats. Man, I'm trying to think of the saddest thing I ever went after. I know. One time I got booked for a corporate. It was lawyers and indigenous chiefs who had been arguing all day over rights for real.
Man.
And they booked me.
And they thought
the end of the day, after these people have been arguing all day in this giant room, okay? They've been arguing all day. Lawyers for the province and fucking indigenous leaders. They booked me for some reason because they thought my stuff would work. My family, for some reason on a website it said I had family friendly immigrant comedy, and for some reason they took that as indigenous and lawyers will love you, and they booked me. And I as soon as I got up, I'm like, you guys probably don't want to fucking hear me, and I'm not gonna even do any of my material. I'll just talk shit to you guys. What the fuck happened today? And one guy started going off. He's like, these fucking people won't fucking talk to us. And I was like, they're lawyers. They don't give a fuck about you guys. And all the indigenous side were like, and
there you go.
They were in it though. They got it. So, and obviously as a white dude, this is not a lie. I have that white guilt. So I'm 100% on the indigenous side. Because I'm like, I can't take these lawyers' side. I'm closer to these guys as an immigrant dude.
No one likes lawyers anyway. You gotta go
the lawyers were the worst. They would not laugh, and the indigenous crowd was fucking rolling around, dying, having a great laugh because I just kept ripping on lawyers. And then eventually some of the lawyers started getting in on the laughs because I was making fun, I guess, their colleagues, and it was good. They liked it. I was like, look, this guy looks like an asshole lawyer. Your parents don't even like you. They're like, thank God he's out of the house and doing it. He was fighting indigenous. Of course, he's a big piece of shit. And then, you try to get, man, I miss comedy so fucking much. Just making fun of audience members and getting away with it because everyone else is laughing. If nobody else laughed, you're the biggest ass. But because everyone's laughing, you're like, ha ha ha. Shouldn't have worn an orange shirt, you fucking idiot, Oh my God,
on fire, buddy.
I love comedy, man. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. Our guest today was Frank Spadone. I hope you enjoyed the first half as much as you enjoyed the second half when we got high. That's what the show is all about. You get to see us be normal and then get ripped. He chose sour diesel. We're gonna smash these fucking
pastries.
These pastries. That man.
Those Led
Frankie.
Zeppelins.
You can't, man. Led Zeppelins. Okay, we're out of here. That's the show. Roll the credits. We have a bunch of credits rolling up right now. The audio's been cut. And so it just looks like Sportsnet, when they're talking after we adjust the papers. Somebody comes in and they tap our head right now. Oh man. Nice.
That was all right. I got quiet near the end.